Welcome, everyone, to Sports Shorts Daily, this Monday tropical storm edition. Ronnie Rance, Playboy Marty, and our very special guest, good hair, Joel Davis. How you guys doing today?
Good, big guy. Cut the beach strip a little short. I just had to come back and do Sports Shorts Daily. That was what I told all my friends. No, just kidding. We actually left to avoid driving in rain today on the way back, but glad to be here.
JD, looking good. Tell us the big news.
What big news? In regards to what?
Like, where are you at?
The big news is I woke up and I'm breathing for another day, another day, 50 straight years. 50 straight years of waking up and breathing.
Well, why don't you tell people about how the prices at Woodenhaven Furniture Company are going to go up slightly because of what you're doing this morning?
I'm not going to raise prices because I'm putting a pool in. I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to sell more. I'm going to sell more furniture. I'm going to do more fundraisers with Red Zone Fundraising, with more coaches. I truly believe the reason why I'm doing this pool is because I know in 2021 I'm going to have the biggest year ever. The biggest year ever at Woodenhaven Furniture Company and Red Zone Fundraising. So why not put a pool in?
That's it. Set the bar and then have to go pay for it. I like it.
Ronnie, I've seen your truck. Your truck is probably a $80,000 truck. Really nice. It's got the ranch leather in it. It's got all the details. It tickles your toot. It tickles your toot when you're driving. I know it does. It does everything except put its own gas in there. So
it doesn't do that.
It doesn't do that. I've seen you. So I figured if you can have a nice truck, I drive a piece of crap. So I'll spend the same money on a pool.
There you go. Makes sense.
Same difference.
Makes sense. You're a winner.
Similar.
All right, let's get to some sports. Marty, did you get a tan, by the way, when you were at the beach?
I burned a little bit in my face. I don't know if you can tell.
Can't tell. Yeah.
Yeah, but no. Otherwise, we were pretty responsible out there.
All right.
He's got a little something. Yeah, I see a little something.
Yeah. The beard hurts it. Like if I shaved my beard, you would probably see it.
Look at your forehead. It's two-tone because of your bangs.
Yeah, he wore the hat, and he wore the hat. Probably had a hat on.
I did wear a hat.
Right.
Yeah. I got to tell you, the NBA playoffs, to me, I thought not having the fans in the stands and whatnot would kind of take away from the NBA playoffs and the drama.
Not at all.
I've enjoyed it just as much, maybe even more. And here's why. Normally in the NBA playoffs, what happens? The scores get lower, the games get tighter.
Yeah.
Guys don't shoot as well and play it. And that's not happening in the bubble. It looks like regular season, games just a little bit ratcheted up with what's on the line. But we are seeing high scoring games like crazy. First, want to talk about Luka Doncic. 48 hours ago, this dude rolls over his ankle so badly, I'm thinking he's done for the playoffs. He might have a broken bone in there. He, like a warrior, he tries to, do the walk it off and come back, tape it up. Doesn't work out. So I'm thinking he's done for the series. He's at least done for a couple of games, and that's going to be it. The Clippers are going to pull away, and his comeback 48 hours later, as a 21-year-old playing in his first NBA playoff series, and to put up a mega triple-double and to have 3 shots within a minute, we're tied or behind in the game to go ahead and win it. One of the most impressive performances I've ever seen. It reminded me as a young kid when I watched the Michael Jordan, Craig Elo shot when he was down a point, and Elo, he hung in the air. Elo passed him by, and he made that shot at the foul line to beat the Cleveland Cavs. I think it was in '89. It was like one of those moments, like a wow. And I watched it on my phone, and I couldn't believe what I was seeing.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because I saw a stat yesterday that those are the only 2 times in an NBA playoff game where a player had 40 points and hit a game-winning buzzer beater. Only 2 times in the history of the
when
NBA.
They were trailing.
When they were trailing. Yeah. That dude is amazing. He's a problem. He's just like for him to be this good at 21 is just sick. And the Suns could have drafted him, and it's going to hurt me for a long time. And I really hope I can one day just watch and enjoy him and appreciate him without getting sad.
How would you feel if you were Atlanta? Atlanta did draft him and then traded him. It's a lot like the Charlotte Hornets drafting Kobe Bryant, going, yeah, let's get rid of this guy. So
the worst is the Kings. The worst is the Kings for taking Bagley.
The Kings are the worst. There's a list circulating out there on social media right now of all the teams or all the players that the Kings drafted ahead of like all-star, all-pro players. And the list it's awful. Like the 5 guys that the Kings picked, and then you look at the 5 guys that they passed on. Imagine 5 Luka Doncic. That's basically what they've passed on. And then you've never heard of the other 5 guys. I think Jimmer Fredette is one of them. So imagine picking Jimmer Fredette over a Luka Doncic.
Yeah,
that's the type of decisions that they've been making.
I think
really good-looking guy.
I think they took Jimmer over Klay Thompson, if I remember correctly.
Right. It's so bad, dude. It's so bad. Like whoever is in charge of the Kings draft process needs to be replaced immediately. It's like so embarrassing. It reminds me of when the Saints are drafting punters in the first round. So that's what it looked like. So
Russell Erxleben.
Yes, exactly.
The Saints took Russell Erxleben 40
instead of like
ago.
Lawrence Taylor. We're going to pick him instead of Lawrence Taylor. So it's bad, man. But Atlanta, if you're an Atlanta fan and you're watching this happen right now, that's the most recent player that was kind of dealt. I think the last superstar that I can remember like that was probably a Kobe Bryant. It was so big. Luka's going to be huge. He is a stud. I mean, he's unstoppable offensively. I love his game. He's fun to watch.
I got to believe that the venue, playing in the bubble with no fans, it's basically a glorified big gym that they're playing the games in, the way it's configured and everything, and wrapped with no fans, and you got the darkness all around you and the screens close to the court. I mean, it's basically a glorified gym. And we hear all the time, especially in college, when they go play in the Final Four in these big stadiums or they play in a dome, you've got that differential when you're trying to shoot and the backdrop so far behind you. I think with no fans and this comfortable, gym basically that they're playing in is why we're seeing, Luka throw 40 plus up and triple doubles, and Mitchell go for 51 and Murray go for 50. I mean, we're seeing Lillard going for 50. We're seeing all these guys throwing up 40, 50-point games in the playoffs, and that just does not happen.
Well, I think a massive part of it is the lack of fans in the games is affecting how the game is called, because refs are less afraid to make foul calls. We've seen 11 more free throws per game per team on average. That was a week ago, but I imagine it hasn't. Yeah, 11 in an entire. Yeah. No, it's nuts. And like the guys that get star treatment, we're really seeing it. Like Damian Lillard getting 20 free throws a game like it's nothing. Donovan Mitchell had 18 free throws last night. How many did Murray have?
Well, they missed a big one on Murray at the end of the game last night.
Murray only had 5. God, the Nuggets only shot 13.
And look, Murray was clearly fouled at the end of the game when it was within 2 points late in that ball game, and it was called a charge, and it was unbelievable that Murray wasn't able to go to the line late in that ball game, and then they come back the other way. They got a foul. They had to foul Mitchell, so they put Mitchell on the line instead of Murray being on the line. So you're talking about a 4-point swing. It was a terrible missed call, but yeah. It seemed like Utah went to the line 3 times as many times as say Denver did last night. They got the hoot added.
Obviously, the Jazz are up 3-1 on the series against the Nuggets. That's a number 6 seed about to knock off a number 3 seed. That again, that's where no home field advantage. If you're the lower seed, you get the home field advantage and the fans. That you take that out of the equation, you're going to see more upsets. That looks like that's happening. The Mavs, of course, are sitting there as a number 7 seed, 2-2 with the Clippers. Porzingis really hasn't even been a factor in the series, and they're 2-2. Do y'all think the Mavs are going to finish it? Are going to pull the upset? We're going to see 2 upsets at least.
I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what the line is tomorrow, because I like betting swing games because the better team usually overperforms. Paul George has been awful. He can't shoot at all, and he's not even really playing the defense at the level that he's used to playing.
Maybe he's got the Rona.
I gotta imagine he's gonna respond eventually. I think the Clippers come out and win Game 5. It might go 7, but I just don't see Kawhi getting knocked off in the first round.
You say that the better team usually wins the swing game, but that's also, again, this is where we don't have the home court, either. And so I don't know. I think this is just, I don't know that you can compare what's happening now with what's happened in the past. It's just such a bizarre year in the bubble with no fans and a neutral court. It's incredible.
It's made for TV though, buddy.
Oh,
it's made for TV.
It
looks really good.
Speaking of the Rona, JD, you're a Rona controversial political guy. How about what's happening in the NFL? Over the weekend, 77 players from 11 different teams thought they had the Rona. It turns out that it was a lab in New Jersey that messed up with the samples and contaminated them. And all of those players had false positives, including Josh Allen, the quarterback of the Bills, was one of them. So, and I think the Bears had the most players. But I mean, this is the NFL. I mean, this is the biggest league with all the money, everything on the line to make sure these players are safe, and they can't get it right.
Imagine my shock. Okay, so imagine if they're getting it wrong.
Right.
When you go over there to the Healing Place Church and they've got the National Guard handing you a stick to shove up your own nose, how many of those are wrong? So, look, the Rona is real. We get it, but the numbers are a lie. And don't get me started, because high school football in the state of Louisiana is not being played right now because of probably a bunch of false negatives, or false positives, I should say. And faulty tests, faulty this, a governor that is going strictly by the numbers that may not even be real. So, yeah, don't get me going on that. It's a blowing. I'm not shocked to hear this at all.
Marty, if the NFL can't get it right, how can we play college football, right? I mean, that's the next thought.
It's tough. This is a tough one. And what happened to this saliva test that came out last week that we were supposed to have, and it would be instant results? And so what happened to that? That just went away. This is really disheartening. If we can't trust tests to get it right either way, I don't really know how we can move forward if we can't trust the testing to even get it right.
We got to move forward. You can't not move forward because we can't trust the test. I mean, what that tells me is let's get rid of the test and let's play some ball.
I didn't mean not play, but I guess I just meant it just makes it weird.
Yeah, we can't. We need to okay, let's keep doing the tests, but know that the tests are crap. It's at the end of the day. That's what we need to do.
Well, I know the NCAA, particularly the SEC, is going to start, and then they're going to go from there. They're trying to figure out, a universal testing situation. One lab, one organization that kind of handles all the testing, so that they can have some comfortability that it's right. Because in this case, you had a lab in New Jersey got it messed up, but then the other labs were fine. And that's what you want to guard against. It's the most bizarre thing ever. Want to get your reaction, JD. It's been 4 years since Colin Kaepernick came out and took the knee, and how things have changed, including that the Roger Goodell in an interview over the weekend talked about how he wishes there had been some dialogue with the league and Colin Kaepernick to kind of understand what's going on, what was going on, what was the purpose of everything. They never had that dialogue, and of course, it's probably hurt the league over the last 4 years from a standpoint of dollars and viewers and sponsors and different things. And he's saying now that that's a big regret that they never sat down with Colin Kaepernick.
I'm speechless. I mean, I really am speechless when I hear that. It just, look, it's called damage control, right? I mean, what else is he going to say?
Sure.
He sees the shift. He sees the shift in the public opinion. He sees what's happening on the news nightly. So he's doing what he feels right now is best for his league, the owners. He's just a puppet, man. He's just saying what he thinks needs to be said to protect the league. And it's different today than it was 3-4 years ago when he took the stance that this ain't going to happen. So, in 3 or 4 more years, depending on where people are, he'll change his mind again. So he'll change with the wave, just like we see every single night on the news, how people change their opinion and change the way they think. You know, a lot of people don't change their opinion. You know, a lot of people are not going to stop going to church because the governor's not letting them. They're still going to find a way to do it. But people that are kind of on the fence and are not really churchgoers, but yet they believe in God. Look, don't even get me going. People that have a true belief are going to do what they do, no matter what society tells them to do. He's just kind of going with the flow, bro.
Marty, your reaction in that article where it said that that Goodell said they reached out to Kaepernick to, in fact, have a meeting or get together, and basically got no response. Never
yeah,
happened.
I mean, that part of it was definitely like the weirdest thing to me. And I don't know if that had been public knowledge beforehand that they
I don't
had
think so.
sent an open invitation. Seems weird that he would decline that. I mean, I'm younger than you guys. I probably have like a slightly like different opinion on this whole thing. But yeah, that definitely stood out to me. And yeah, I don't know.
I want to know what your opinion is from the old guys.
I probably was a little quicker to defend Kaepernick in the whole thing, if I had to guess.
Like right from jump, though, did you defend him right from jump, or did it take a while for you to come around to that?
My initial thought was like, yes, the reason that he's saying he's doing this for, I completely agree. This is like messed up, but I did think this is not a good protest because it takes completely away from like what he's talking about. That was my initial thought. And now that it's like kind of become that, now that kneeling has become a sign for that, I think it makes more sense today.
Well Ronnie, hold on, Ronnie. What Marty just said is kind of the same thing I felt. I mean, I see what you're doing, but we just didn't agree with the way he was doing it.
Yeah, the
right?
time and place, right?
I actually agree with Marty. So Marty, we actually have the same belief in that. Mm-hmm. But today's society is different. It's so different 3 years from now than it was 3 years ago. A lot, yeah. But us older guys still feel mostly the same way, but we get it. We understand.
Right.
But the NFL is protecting its pocketbook. That's why they are saying what they're saying right now.
Oh, no doubt about it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think my initial reaction, which has softened a little bit, I think there is a better understanding now as to the true meaning, and that I separate the disrespect. I think initially I was they're disrespecting veterans, which my dad was one in Vietnam, and my grandfathers were in World War II, and I felt like it disrespected the flag and their service. I think that part has changed for me a little bit over the years, and that now I'm a little bit softer in understanding it's not so much disrespecting them as what their intention is doing. Okay. Now, that said, I still am of the camp and of the belief that not the time and place, right? National anthem, we should all be on the same page, moving forward. You want to protest a cause for whatever cause, valid or not, or regardless of what I think, do it someplace else. That's still my belief. But at the end of the day, it is the United States of America. And if your business, if your organization, if your league allows you to do it, then by all means, knock yourself out. But it's an oogie thing. What's oogie for me is when I watch 8-year-old little leaguers in Iowa all take a knee, which is what happened when Colin Kaepernick did this 3-4 years ago. You would see videos of high school teams in Washington State. They don't even know why they're doing it. They were just doing it because Colin Kaepernick did it and looked cool. So that's if you're going to do it, I mean, you better really be sincere and understand. Have some thought behind it.
Yeah, I mean, I can't speak for the 8-year-old thing. That's a little weird, but I guess that may be where we differ now, because like when I see a professional athlete kneeling for the anthem now, I don't even think twice about it anymore. So I guess that's where we differ.
And that would be my question to that would be, if you don't even think twice about it, is it even worth it? Does it even make a difference if you see, what I mean? Nowadays we're numb to it and it doesn't bother us, but the point of why they're kneeling, and does it make us go, ooh, the cause, the XYZ cause, what I mean? I think it's just, we're numb to it. Like, I'm not going to let this bother me. I'm going to pick another battle. I mean, I think that's the attitude.
I think that the frustrating part for a lot of people, especially people like me that have traveled the world, and you see the way other societies are, a lot of people have based these opinions and have never even visited Mexico, right? And it's right next door. But if you go to like Indonesia, India, other countries that have, a society where there's not it's not very diverse, right? If you live in India, 95 or 98% of that country is people that were either born there and raised there, right? Indonesia, you're talking about 30 million people, and they're, 99.9% of the people that live there are Indonesian. So when you visit these countries, you see how awesome the United States is, because how diverse it is and how accepting this country is as far as people. We're so accepting. So I think that that's where the frustration came in for me, because when I go to other places, you see how they look at you, and in some areas where they don't really want you and let you know, they call you names to your face, and it's like you just giggle about it. Here, this country is so accepting. It's so unfair that people don't understand how great America is and how accepting it is. Just go travel the world and you're going to find it out real quick. People that haven't traveled have no freaking business calling this country negative terms, and when they don't really know and they have no clue.
Well, we went a little long today on Sports Source Daily, but a lot of good stuff, good topics to talk about. We'll be back tomorrow morning. Thanks, Marty. Thanks, JD. Y'all have a great day. Sports Source Daily presented each and every day by LeBear's Casino in Baton Rouge, now open 24/7, 365. And you stay at the hotel, the rooftop pool is 21 and over. No rugrats running around shooting water guns in your face. So we'll be back tomorrow. Sports Shorts, we'll talk about the topics of the day, and we'll see if Playboy Marty's hair gets a little higher. See ya. Have a great one, everybody.